Alright, so today it is Thursday, and as always, Bungie do their weekly update this week in Destiny, and this one's a pretty interesting one actually, as Bungie finally talk just a little bit about Into the Light. So we get a release date for that content drop, which will be coming in April. They also give us a preview of some of the artwork for it right here, which has some interesting components, so we'll take a look at that, and Bungie are going to be doing some live stream reveals for this update. So finally we get a few more details about it, we'll break it all down. On top of that though, they talk about making enhanced traits more obtainable, so they have future plans for enhanced perks. They also talk about Guardian Games standings for the week, Fireteam Finder updates, and then as always there are known issues and a bunch of other items. So got a few things to talk about here today guys, and we'll be getting more reveals next week, so let's talk about it. As always, if you enjoyed the video, a rating below very much helps us out, but without further delay, let's jump into it. And Bungie say this week we start preparing for the next battle, and we've got a bunch of very exciting news to share with you all regarding Into the Light, the 2-month content update coming to all players in April. So they're going to talk about that, 3 live stream events for it, as well as plans for further weapon enhancing, the Guardian Games stuff, and more. And for Into the Light, they say it starts on April 9th. So today we're ready to share when our next big content update is coming, and Into the Light will launch on the 9th of April, along with update 736. And that includes further tuning to the sandbox as well as quality of life updates. And here, of course, we get some artwork for Into the Light, so pretty interesting right here. Obviously, we're in the last city. We've got those sort of midtown PvP vibes. There is also a bunch of darkness architecture there, and lots of Hive, as well as that fleet of pyramid ships, so this is the sort of angle leaning into the final shape. Obviously, there are going to be some reasonably strong thematic ties, but it's interesting to take a look at the gear that the Guardians are holding. Firstly, what appear to be some Vanguard armor sets. These don't appear to be in-game renders, but a pretty cool looking sword there, with the Hunter holding a hand cannon and the Warlock having a shotgun, all of them which are glowing. Interestingly, there's a sort of Vanguard turret mech of sorts right there on the right hand side. So it looks like we might actually get some sort of new flavors with this update. Give us your thoughts down below. But they say it will deliver new game content available for all players throughout the months of April and May in preparation for the launch of the final shape. And if you're asking what types of content, well, they plan to share more info very soon, and on Tuesday, we'll be able to see what Into the Light is all about in not 1, but actually there'll be a total of 3 live streams, and each of them will focus on different parts of the content update and be presented by developers who'll be sharing tons of information and providing a hands-on preview. So that first live stream is at 10 AM Pacific time on March 19th, but they say the next 2 will air on March 26th and April 2nd, both starting at 10 AM Pacific time. And that's the weekly reset time. So that'll be up live on Twitch. They say be sure to mark the dates in the calendar. And there's a piece of art for this as well, showing the sort of Into the Light logo. And they say there'll be 2 new Twitch drops available if you watch for at least 30 minutes across any of the 3 live streams. And we'll be able to earn a couple of emblems. So for 30 minutes, we get the Those Hold Dear emblem. And for 2 hours watch time, there'll be one called Echo Diamond. So those look pretty cool. And yeah, next Tuesday we'll finally get more info. But based on that artwork, certainly seems to be the promise of new content, which is definitely a big positive, so give us your thoughts about it down below. And as always, I will be keeping you posted on it. Next up though, they talk about making enhanced traits more obtainable. And over the last year, the weapons team have been collecting a lot of feedback on weapon crafting and enhancement. And they say we recognize players want more access to enhanced perks so that they can make their favorite gear even more capable. And they say while we aren't fully ready to talk about the entire weapon landscape of the final shape, the new and reprised weapons you collect from the Prophecy Dungeon and Guardian Games All-Stars, as well as new weapons in rotation for Iron Banner, Trials and Nightfalls, will all retroactively be enhanceable when Final Shape releases on June 4th. So it looks like there's going to be a new feature that will enhance the weapons themselves, based on Bungie's wording at least right there. Obviously more details will follow, but that will include the Prophet Scout Rifle and the Summoner Auto Rifle from Trials, the Tusker the Ball Grenade Launcher and Multimac CCX SMG from Iron Banner, then the new Nightfall weapons Wildstyle and the Slammer Sword, and all of the updated Prophecy Dungeon and Guardian Games weapons. So that's an interesting component. Obviously, once again, more details will follow, but a new weapon enhancement system certainly appears to be on the way for the next expansion. In the Twid, Bungie do talk about Guardian Games, and in terms of the latest standings, overall they say Hunters have got gold 7 times, with Titans getting gold once. Warlocks have also been silver 7 times, with Titans getting 7 bronze there as well. Titans do appear to have been doing very well in the past day or so though. Of course, Bungie have been messing with the scoring weightings between classes and all this kind of stuff, so we'll just see what happens. But also in the Twid are some Guardian Games wallpapers, if those sound interesting. And in Twid, they also say starting March 19th, the web version of Fireteam Finder will also be available for all players. The companion app version of that has gone live now as well, and they say in the future they plan to include notification support for Fireteam Finder in both the app and web versions, along with other improvements. So cool that that's on the way. Otherwise, there are some extra bits about player privacy updates and the date of birth requirements. Bungie announced that last week, and there is an article with more info in case you need it, so we'll link that with the twab in the description box. They do also say though they're aware of an issue on PlayStation, which is preventing players from utilizing voice and text chat since the recent update, and they're working on a fix, so hopefully that'll drop soon. And otherwise, they point out Guardian Games will end on March 26th, so players need to claim all event card items, and there are code of conduct updates with new community standards, which are linked in the Twid as well, so if you feel like you need those, you can always check them out. Very briefly for other known issues though, Bungie say skimmer grinding only works with the crouch toggle setting, that one is still being investigated, and they're investigating an issue where the detail screen under EVA's Guardian Games event information redirects players to purchase the Witch Queen. They also say the Last Right Scout Rifle uses the same visual appearance as the Prophet Scout Rifle, and that the drop-in and top of class Guardian Games All-Stars quests remain available on EVA even after the player has already claimed them. Then that the final Strand quest isn't progressing when the Cabal Missive is acquired, and the Trials Passage of Persistence will floor if the first match on a card is a loss, so that isn't intended, and hopefully these are ones that will get fixed very soon. Otherwise guys, for today, that's what we have to talk about. I'm certainly curious about Into the Light now. There have been a few leaks and bits of conversation sort of surfacing over the past day or so, which may give us some hints as to what exactly we can expect. But it's not going to be long now until we start getting details about it, and it sounds positive that Bungie feel there is enough content there to talk about over the course of 3 live streams, so it sounds promising. We'll find out more next week, and as always I'll keep you posted. But give us your thoughts down below for today guys, and if you've enjoyed the video, a rating very much helps us out on the channel as well. Also get subscribed so I can keep you up to date with everything related to the game, but otherwise I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you have an awesome day.